Hello everyone and welcome to the top 10 Halloween characters on Bleach Brave Souls. Now for this specific list, I am actually going to include the Spirit Society characters. I know technically it's its own thing, but considering it comes out on Halloween every year, and by every year I mean this year and last year, I am going to include them on this list. Plus it will help keep the characters on this list a bit more relevant. With that said, let's get started. Now we're starting things off with one of my favorite characters in this game, and certainly my favorite character on this list. I'm talking about the Halloween version of Yoroichi Shihoen, who not only has a really high attack, but also a boosted 25 NAD link and a plus 40 bruiser, increasing her overall damage output to 65% by herself. She's also got a pretty fast normal attack speed, and she's got long reach at 20%. All of this makes her a really good normal attacking character, but that's not to say that her strong attacks are useless, since they really help out her normal attacks. For one thing, they can all inflict debilitating paralysis, and her strong attack 2 in particular is a vortex move that surrounds her. This not only protects her, but also greatly increases the chance of inflicting paralysis. The combination of this strong attack 2 and her normal attack make her really good against bosses, and also really good for autoing. Also, since this is a Yoroichi, she has multiple flash steps, and this is one of the Yoroichis that has long strides, so those flash steps are going to go a very long way, allowing you to move through an area really quickly and take full advantage of her strong attack too. Honestly, this character is still very useful today, despite being about 2 years old. The only real issue is her outdated bruiser, but even at 40% she can still pack a punch.
世はすべてこともなし。いさかいはこの風で吹き消してやろう。
Next on the list, we have the Spirit Society version of Rukia Kuchiki, a character with a really high SP as well as frenzy, and an extremely high chance of inflicting debilitating burn. Seriously, it's really high. She can inflict it on all of her attacks, including her normal attack, which is piercing. Her strong attack 1 is a 180 max strong attack, meaning that in addition to pushing enemies back, it hits them multiple times and greatly increases the chance of inflicting burn, especially up close. Her strong attack 2 is a crawling vortex move which pushes enemies back and greatly increases the combo, as well as the likelihood of inflicting burn, and it's very good in guild quests, Senkaimon, and just crowd control in general. Then we have her strong attack 3, which is a hybrid vortex move, and is perfect for gathering enemies in one spot before hitting them again. This move also hits a large number of times and has a high chance of inflicting burn. The kit that she has makes her one of the best boss killers in the game thanks to her burn. Unfortunately, this doesn't make her the fastest character, as she's really more meant for crowd control and burn damage, and not actual speed. Still, it's a really good trade-off, and she's a character that you should definitely be happy about if you happen to pull her on the current banner.
ハロウィンナイトだ。私の音色に溺れるか。
Next up is the Halloween version of TR Hallibell, a character with a really high attack and a bruiser at 50%. In addition to a high bruiser, she also has a poise ability, meaning she doesn't stagger when hit, and thanks to her complete immunity to paralysis, the only real ways to stop her is either to freeze her or to kill her. Now in addition to being completely immune to paralysis, she can also inflict it on anything she has, and it's debilitating. It's pretty useful for her strong attack too, since it's a 180 mag and hits multiple times. This Hallibell also has a 16% damage reduction link, which can be stacked up pretty high, and it's a combination of that, the debilitating paralysis, the poise, and the immunity to paralysis that make her a really good character in PvE, especially for autoing, as well as PvP. She's not top tier, but she can definitely compete, and the fact that her attacks can't be stopped unless she's frozen means that there's a chance that you're going to be the one doing the paralyzing. Plus, since she has a slow year per killer, it means that unlike a lot of the characters that are good in PvP, you can actually take her in the harder PvE stuff, since her killer will be multiplied and you'll get the advantage of that. While they're a lot more common now, she was one of the few characters that was good in both PvE and PvP, and while her bruiser is a bit outdated, she still holds up.
覗きなんて野暮ね。そんなに見たいならいらっしゃい。
Next up, we have one of the newest characters to have come out so far, the Spirit Society version of Rangiku. I don't know why it took K-Lab so long to give us a seasonal Rangiku, but they finally did it, and the one we got did not disappoint. Well, for the most part did not disappoint, but we'll get to that. She has a super high SP as well as frenzy, and she has a Berserker at 20, which seems to be a thing we're just doing now. This means that her attacks are going to be doing 20% more damage without the use of a link. Rangiku can also inflict debilitating weakening on all of her attacks, and her strong attack 2 in particular is extremely likely to do it. It's a vortex move that gathers enemies in one spot before pushing them back, and it's really good for crowd control and for keeping bosses away from you before they use their special. It's also really good for weakening since it hits multiple times. It's also got really good range thanks in part to her having Havoc at 20, and it means that a full screen strong attack is essentially more than a full screen. Rangiku also has a strong attack recharge link, so she's able to spam these attacks, which increases the likelihood of inflicting weakening. In addition to all of this, she's also completely immune to being frozen. Now with all this said, I would love to put her higher on the list. Unfortunately, they gave this character a no affiliation killer, which is not quite as useful as some of the others. That said, it is becoming increasingly more useful, and I have a strong feeling that we're going to start seeing more no affiliation enemies pop up, especially in events like the ones we've been getting. Until then though, this is as far as she makes it, and I hope this is the start of many more Rangikus in this game. Next up is the Halloween version of Grimmjow, who has a really high SP, frenzy, and a boosted strong attack recharge link of 14%. Like a lot of recent characters, he also has Berserker along with that frenzy. In addition to that, he also has a chance to inflict debilitating poison on all of his attacks. I still don't get why, but it is there, and they do have pretty decent range. All that said, there's not really much else to this character. He's kind of generic aside from the Berserker and Frenzy combo. I know he wasn't a lot of people's favorite character to come out, but he is good. Also, did anyone else think Tony the Tiger when he first came out, or is it just me?
時間や怖いことあらへんよようこそハロウィンパーティー
Next up, we have the Halloween version of Gin Ichimaru, who has a really high SP, Frenzy, and Berserker at 20. Gin can inflict debilitating weakening on all of his attacks, and his strong attack 2 is a crawling vortex move. So you know, guild quests and Kaimon, crowd control, all that stuff. He's also got a projectile strong attack 1 and a strong attack 3 that's full screen. And thanks to his strong attack recharge link, he's able to spam these strong attacks and has a very high chance of inflicting weakening, which is still the most useful status element to inflict. Gin is also completely immune to being paralyzed and weakened himself, so while you still have to worry about the damage these attacks would do, you don't ever have to be worried about being paralyzed or weakened. You do, however, have to be worried about yet another seasonal Gin. There are other male characters, K-Lab, and it's been a very long time since the seasonal Ichigo came out.
Hona, 行くで。逃げても無駄や。僕の炎はしつこいで。
Oh look, another Gin! Yay! This one is the Spirit Society version. Much like the last one, this one is also ranged, and while his SP is lower, he is a bit more useful. This Gin also has Frenzy, and he also has a strong attack recharge link. However, instead of inflicting debilitating weakening, this one can inflict debilitating burn on all of his attacks except for his strong attack 2. That's because his strong attack 2 is a heal move, and thanks to his medic ability, he's able to heal the entire team. Now he's actually one of the better healers in the game, thanks of course to his strong attack recharge link. That allows his strong attack 2 and the rest of his strong attacks to come back faster. He's also good for inflicting burn damage since his strong attack 1 is a projectile shot, and his strong attack 3 is a full screen. Now don't get me wrong, the other Gin is actually better for damage, since weakening allows you to deal even more damage, and his SP is higher and he has Berserker. Plus he can use his strong attacks more frequently, since he's got a strong attack 2 that's not a heal move. That said, this one is a bit more useful, since he can not only dish out damage, but also be a really good support character, and it's why he ended up above him on this list.
これを最後まで聞いて立っていたやつはいねえ。行くぜ。芝式戦だ。陣雷豪華。
Next up on the list is the Spirit Society version of Kai and Shiba, who was actually a really nice surprise this year. Now Kaien, much like a lot of recent characters, has a really high SP, Frenzy, and Berserker at 20. He's also got a strong attack recharge link, and can inflict debilitating paralysis on all of his attacks. He's also completely immune to being paralyzed himself. Now Kaien has some pretty good strong attacks, and it's largely thanks to his Havoc being at 20. His strong attack 1 is a lunge move with really good range, and his strong attack 2 has a 160 mag, similar to the past version of Kisuke or the Cacao Society version of Byakuya. Byakuya. It does more damage the closer you are, and if you manage to paralyze the opponent or just pin them up against the wall, it can do some massive amounts of damage, and luckily, he can inflict debilitating paralysis. Then we have his strong attack 3. It's a charge move, and while charge moves typically aren't full screen, he does have havoc at 20%, meaning that his basically is, and when fully charged it can definitely hit harder than his own special, though his special does cover a wider area. Kain definitely has the highest damage potential out of anyone else on this list, and it's why he ended up so high up on the list. Next up, we have the Halloween version of Lynette, who I definitely didn't see coming, and much less thought that she was going to be this good. She has a super high attack as well as flurry and poise, and she's got an Arrancar killer, meaning she can take advantage of any killer multiplication event while still being able to deal damage for any boss that is an Arrancar. Now Lynette having flurry is actually pretty interesting, because her normal attack already pierces. This means that one of her attacks can hit 4 times. In other words, your normal attack can rapidly increase the combo, as well as break down barriers pretty quickly. Now in addition to flurry, Lynette also has a plus 20 bruiser, so even though she has a damage reduction soul trait, it's almost as if she also has a normal attack soul trait, since it increases by 20% anyway. As I mentioned, she has damage reduction, which can be stacked up to 76%, and she's got a strong attack 2 that's a heal move, so if you do manage to get her health low, she's just gonna be able to heal herself and the entire party. This character is unbelievably durable, even more so I'd say than Retsu, since Lynette is ranged, and she's got a better killer. She's useful in both PvP and PvE, though I'd say not quite as fast as some other characters. Still, she's one of the best normal attack characters we've ever had, as well as one of the most reliable. And at number 1 we have Byakuya Kuchiki, the Spirit Society version, who has a really high SP as well as Frenzy, and Berserker at 20%. In addition to that, he also has Havoc at 20%, and that makes his attacks in particular have incredible range. His strong attack 3 is more than a full screen, while his strong attack 2 has a radius of 960, so basically almost full screen levels of range. He's also got a projectile shot strong attack 1 with really good range, and all of these attacks are really quick to activate, making him one of the fastest characters in the game, since he also has a strong attack recharge link. Additionally, all of his attacks and his special can inflict debilitating freeze, which is not something you normally associate with Byakuya, but that's what makes these seasonal characters great. Finally, Byakuya is also completely immune to being poisoned, which comes in extra handy in things like inheritance zones or droplet zones that have poison all over the floor. I honestly didn't expect a seasonal character to be this good, not just Byakuya either. At this point, a good chunk of the best characters in this game are seasonal characters, and Byakuya is definitely among them as one of the best PvE characters. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for some more top 10 lists.